Okay, so at age 7, he's shy around girls and wants to find out about the moon. At age 14 and 21, he still reports being shy around girls, and he's a physics, I'll stop the film there, he's a physics professor, and now is in engineering at Madison. So these qualities easily can be traced back. I mean, trace isn't even the word for it. There's some of these qualities that seem to have been there from like way back when. Potentially, there was something wired in, some genetic predisposition that is accounting for the fact, this is the concept for the trait theories, accounting for this large-scale stability across this huge decades of time. So the trait theories essentially take up two questions. The second one is, why do people differ on these traits? The first one, of course, has to be, what are the traits? Yeah, the trait theorists look for something that's kind of like what's on the board in a physics and chemistry class, some kind of set of basic elements. It's very hard to figure out what the basic elements are, and they use a statistical trick, which we won't, of course, work through numerically, but we have to point at it. It's a trick. It's something called factor analysis. Sorry, it has this unexciting name. It's easily understood by way of analogy. Imagine there were a bunch of cars, and you rated them on a whole bunch of qualities, like what's the body made of, how many cylinders in the engine, 0 to 60 speed, how much does it break down, how much does it cost. If you took tons of these ratings, you might ask, is there a simple vocabulary of the way the cars differ? The statistical technique factor analysis looks at all these ratings and how they're correlated with each other, and through the magic of a certain type of arithmetic, finds summaries, statistical summaries of how things go together. If you did this for cars, the summaries would be kind of obvious. You'd get dimensions like reliability, sportiness, luxuriousness. These are normal things. So if you're on a used car lot, the guy or the woman selling the car says it's sporty. Everybody sort of knows what that means. The car doesn't have a sporty. You don't get to the car and go look under the hood for the sporty. But nonetheless, you know it's a sporty car, more so than the one over there. Similarly, if you did this with people, you can ask people hundreds of questions to describe themselves. You see these personality tests online. After you get all these self-descriptions, you run it through the statistical technique to get some basic personality traits. Different psychologists have done this slightly different ways. There are certain personality qualities you always find. Two of them that are very common are being outgoing, the term is extroverted, and also kind of worrying, experiencing psychological distress, sometimes called neuroticism. So this little graph comes from a British psychologist named Hans Eysenck. The idea of drawing it this way is that these two qualities are independent statistically. You can be high on one and low on the other, or vice versa. So then the idea is a personality quality like leadership isn't a distinctive quality. It's just a combination of somewhat extroverted and emotionally stable. If you're highly unstable and neurotic, you don't tend to become the national leader. A quality like excitable is a mix of unstable and extroverted. Some people are peaceful, but that just means they're low on towards introverted, and highly stable.